Alright, in the last concept, we learned how to bring future money back to the present money using the present value. Okay, now let's go in the opposite direction. Instead of asking what is the future money worth today, we now ask what will today's money become in the future? What is the value of today's money in the future? Okay, and that is called the future value. Got it? Now, let me ask you something. If you invest $500 today, what will it become after 5 years? Will it remain the $500 same? So the answer is no. It will grow, of course. And how much it grows, that is what future value tells us. Correct? So the future value answer us how much will today's money grow over the time. In simple words, it shows the growth of money. Okay, and this process is called compounding. In present value, we studied the discounting, and in future value, we studied the compounding. Okay, this process is known as compounding. So, when you invest money, you earn interest. The next year, you earn interest on interest. So, money grows faster over time. Okay, so this is called the compound growth. What it is called? The compound growth. For example, let us take an example. First, this is the formula of future value. Now, you invest $500 today at 6% annual interest for the next 5 years. Now, instead of calculation, focus on the idea. What is the idea behind this? So each year your money increases by 6%. Okay, so it keeps growing year after year. Correct. So after 5 years, your $500 become approximately $669. Correct. What does it mean? It means your $500 has grown by about, the extra money is the dollar 169. But here is the important point. What was that? The growth is not linear, it is exponential. Okay, because you are earning interest on interest. Correct. So now you might be thinking, what if I keep money for a longer time? Then it grows even more, maybe. So the time is most powerful factor in the compounding value. Now, what are the key factors that affecting the future value? The first one is higher interest rate, or we can say the interest rate. If the interest rate is higher, the future value is higher. Why? Because money grows faster. The second one is time period. Longer the time period, much higher the future value. Correct? Why? Because compounding works over more periods. Right? Now, let's imagine two people. Okay, person A invest $500 for 5 years and person B invest $500 for 20 years. Who will have more money? The answer is the person B, by a huge margin. Why? Because the time period is more, and what we already studied, that longer the time period, much higher the future value. Correct? Because of the compounding, because of the compounding. Now, let's connect everything. Like present value moves backward in the time and the future value moves forward in the time. Both are the two sides of the same concept, or we can say the two sides of like a coin. Okay, Now, if you understand the future value, you understand how wealth is created, because all investments are based on growing money over the time, correct? So the future value help us to answer the question that if I invest money today, what will it become in the future? Okay, so this is used in investment, savings, retirement planning, business growth, in these things. Now we have understood that present value, that is backward, future value, that is forward. So our next step is, that brings us to compounding and discounting. Okay, all right. So we have understood two important ideas. Present value brings money back to today, and future value taking money forward in the time. Now the question is, what connects these two concepts? So the answer is compounding and discounting, the two sides of the same coin. So think of these as the two directions of the same journey. Compounding means moving forward in the time, discounting moving backward in the time. Same concept, just opposite directions. Okay, now start with compounding. Let us first understand compounding. Imagine you invest some money today. In the first year, you earn interest, and in the second year, you earn interest on interest. Means your original money and the interest you already earned. This is called compound interest. Think like this. Your money is like a snowball, correct? As it rolls forward in time, it keeps getting bigger and bigger. Okay. So the more time you give, the faster the growth become. This is why early investment is so powerful. Okay, got it? Now you can ask, is compounding really that powerful? So the answer is yes. Even a small amount, if invested for a long time, can grow into a large amount. Like in today's time, we can say the SIPs. Okay. Now we're moving to the our next part, that is discounting. Instead of going forward, let's come back. This is called discounting. Okay. Now the discounting means converting future money into today's value. So instead of asking what will money become, we can ask what is worth today. What is it worth today? So now understand this clearly. Compounding grows money, discounting reduce money, but both are based on the same time value principle. We can also say higher interest rate, faster compounding, higher interest rate, lower present value. Correct? So compounding increases value and discounting decreases value. Let me give you a real example. When you invest in a bank, you are using compounding. Okay, but when a company evaluate a project, it uses discounting. So both are used everywhere in the finance, correct? If you understand these two concepts, you can also understand the investment, loan, valuation, and financial decision. Now you can ask, why do we need both? Because in real life, money moves in the both direction. Sometimes we want to know the future value, means compounding. Sometimes we want to know the present value, means discounting. Okay, so always remember, compounding and discounting are the two sides of the same coin. One takes money forward and other brings it back, and together they form the backbone of time value of money. Got it? Yes. Now that we understand this, let's go on the next step deeper. What happens if compounding happen multiple times in a year? Means compounding frequency. Okay, we will study in next. So far we have understood What is compounding? How money grows over the time. Now, let's take this one step further. That is, does money always grow at the same speed? Or does the way interest is applied change the growth? Let me ask you a question. Suppose a bank says we offer 12% interest per year. It sounds good, right? But here is the twist. What is the twist? What if that 12% is applied once a year, twice a year, every month, or every day? Will the final amount be the same? Tell me. Will the final amount be the same? Answer is no. And this is exactly what we call compounding frequency. Means compounding frequency means how many time interest is applied in a year. Okay? If interest is applied more frequently, your money get updated more often, and every time it updates, it start earning interest again. Correct? So we can say more frequent compounding leads to higher future value. Let us take an example like imagine a person interest calculated once per year. Okay, a person B interest calculated every month. Now who will earn more? So the answer is person B. Why? Because money is growing multiple times, right? But here is something interesting. What was that? As compounding become very frequent, monthly, daily, continuous, right? The difference become very small. So beyond a point, growth stabilizes, right? Now, because of this, we use a concept called, the one concept is EAR, means effective annual rate. What it shows? It shows the actual return after considering the compounding. Means sometime bank shows a normal nominal rate that is 12%. Okay, but actual return may be slightly higher due to the compounding, right? So EAR gives the true picture. Now you may ask, does this really matter in real life? Of course, very much. So it affects the bank rate, loan, investment, credit cards, right? Okay. Now, when you take a loan, interest may be compounded monthly. So even if the rate looks small, actual payment become higher, right? So always remember, frequency matters. Same interest rate can give you the different results depending on the compounding frequency. Correct? So in this concept, we learn interest is not just about the rate, it is also about how often it is applied, means the frequency. And more frequent compounding increases the growth of money. Correct? Now let us move forward. So far we have seen single cash flows, growth of money, when but what if payment happen regularly? That brings us to our next slide or next topic, that is annuity. Okay,